Om Sahana Vavatu.
How is Ramayana relevant or important in normal person's day-to-day life? What is the relevance of Ramayana in our day-to-day life today?
Om Sahana Vavatu. Sahana Bhunaktu. Saha Viryam Karvavahai. Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shrutismriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashakritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha समस्तजन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। Hari Om, salutations to all. So we were seeing the contemplation on the form in mantra 7. Sixth mantra gave us the pointers of contemplation on the formless truth. And the seventh mantra is about contemplation on the form of Bhagwan Shiva. So we have seen first two lines. Uma Sahayam Parameshwaram Prabhum. The one who is a consort of Mother Uma, who is the Supreme Lord Parameshwara, and Prabhum, who is one is the Supreme Lord Ishvara, and one is the Prabhu, all powerful. Trilochanam, who has three eyes, Neelakantham, who has a blue neck, Prashantam, extremely peaceful. So Trilochanam and Neelakantham we had seen in the earlier satsang, now the Prashantam. So Shanti is peace of mind. Sham means to become quiet. Shanti hence is peace, where all the thought disturbances, agitations, etc. have settled. Peace is not a state of dullness or no thoughts. Peace is a state of no conflict. Peace is a state of harmony. Body, mind, intellect are aligned to the righteous purpose. Mind is peaceful. No attachments, that is peace. The state of detachment, the state of love, the state of compassion, the state of harmony, all that is peace. And peace is the most fundamental requirement for achieving anything in the world outside also or within. If the mind is not peaceful, it will not be focused, it will not be single pointed, it can't give its best. A disturbed mind, we can't take decisions properly. Sometimes the decisions are wrong. So peace of mind, very, very important. Quieter the mind, greater is the experience of happiness also. Gurudev used to say, when the mind is calm, the intellect is sharp and the decisions are rational, right and rewarding. So quiet mind also makes the buddhi sharp. So peace of mind itself is most important in any aspect. In a relationship, if peace of mind is not there, one will not be secured and centered. One will blame the opposite person, one will feel victimized, one will feel that life is not in my control. So that conflicts will happen in relationships, in productivity, at work, anywhere. Spiritual growth, of course, if peace is not there, one can't grow. And you see this applicable in any other aspect also. In the countries where there is peace, there is progress, there is development, there is prosperity. Where the focus is only on violence, destroying other countries, there will not be that much of peace and there will not be that much of progress and prosperity and development, etc. So whether it's individuals, it is nations, it applies. Now, peace of mind, though very important, peace of mind as a is a quality of the mind, and the more the person has sattva guna, the more the person is peaceful. Rajoguna quality is attachment, tamoguna quality is ignorance and dullness. So peace is a sattvic quality. It is not a tamasic aspect. Many people think if I become peaceful, I will not have ambition, I will not progress, I will not be able to achieve great things. That is a wrong notion. In the most difficult situations, one who is able to hold back and keep the mind calm is the one who will excel. Even right now, Olympics are going on. How does one handle so much pressure of expectations of people and oneself, and one wants to achieve a medal there? That mind has to be peaceful, focused on what it is doing. Otherwise, it can't achieve. So the mind which is peaceful is a mind which is even in high pressure situation, it is that which will excel. It is the tamasic mind is not a peaceful mind. Tamasic mind is dull, lazy, lethargic, potential does not manifest. So sattva guna is maximum. And that's why if you see Lord Shiva, Bhagwan Shiva is Karpura Gauram. He is white in color. Everywhere you see Bhagwan painted as blue, that is because blue is symbolic of infinity. And so Bhagwan will be painted as blue. But Bhagwan is not having Neelavarna. Only his neck is blue. Otherwise, he is Karpura Gauram, Karunavataram, white complexion. And again, when we say white, there is no indication of superiority in that. It's just a complexion. Bhagwan is bright as camphor. That's all. It doesn't mean that anything black or any other color is lower. Krishna Bhagwan, Ramji, they all are Shyama Varna. Ganeshji, Rakta Varna, red color. Like that, each deity has their own color, and we have no discrimination based on color in our culture. All Varnas are equally worthy of respect, love, etc. So, Sattva Guna color is white, Rajoguna color is red, Tamoguna color is black. That's a indication. Okay. Again, this is only in terms of understanding and rising above the gunas. So from tamas to rajas, rajas to sattva, and sattva to beyond, one comes to realize. Just now I said Bhagwan Ganeshji is red color, Sham Varna is Krishna Bhagwan, Ramji, etc. Now obviously that doesn't mean that they are personification of tamas and rajas. They should not equate just like that. White color, symbolic of sattva, and that sattva is what will bring peace. And you see here when it is said prashantam. So shantam and prashantam. So shanti is peace of mind. And peace of mind is very, very crucial and important to discover peace of the self, which is prashantam. Because peace of mind is a state of mind influenced by the gunas. And as per my vasanas, as per my gunas, the mind will go through ups and downs. So sometimes the mind is peaceful, sometimes it is not. Because it gets into some attachment, some ignorance, some carelessness, some indulgence, peace of mind disturbed. Again, one puts effort, again comes back to that. So this up and down keeps happening in the mind because that's the nature, it's volatile. But Prashantam indicates peace as the nature of the self, Atma. It is that peace which is beyond thought. So obviously beyond gunas, beyond fluctuations, beyond vasanas. And it is always there. Like the silence is always there, sound comes and goes. And sound is rising in silence, staying in silence, going back into silence. Same way, thoughts rise in this nature of the self. The nature of the self is prashantam. That which is absolutely still, peaceful, no fluctuations in it. And that still center is there in us, that is consciousness. That is what we are contemplating upon. Yeah. Using the form of Bhagwan Shiva, we say Bhagwan Shiva is white, Karpura Gauram, Prashantam. So may my mind be peaceful, sattvic. When the mind is sattvic, then one steadily contemplates on Prashantam as the nature of the self, nature of pure consciousness. It is what they call as peace that passeth all understanding. Peace that will not get disturbed, affected by any state of mind. Because it is the witness. Samasta Sakshim is the next, it will come in the next line. So, it is the Sakshi, it is the witness. Any form of thought can come anger, lust, passion, jealousy, happiness, love, excitement, fear, any form of thought. It comes, it goes. That is the nature of the mind. I have nothing to do with it. I am the illuminer, one who identifies with that. That is Shiva Tattva in me. And as Bhagwan Shiva also extremely peaceful as a form. Though he is in charge of destruction. And people consider him as an angry god. He opened the third eye, everything will be burnt. But he is most peaceful. Maximum meditation who does? In Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh, if you see, Shivji is always sitting in meditation. And who can meditate? Who has that much sattva guna? Who is the one who is capable of when it was said that Gangaji has to be brought on the earth, then who was capable of bringing Gangaji on the earth? The one who can withstand the force of Mother Ganga is only Lord Shiva. Ganga there is symbolic of pure knowledge of the self. And Bhagwan Shiva holds that in his jata. Gangaji is held when she comes down from the heavens onto the earth. The force with which she comes down, she will wash out the entire earth. Instead of that, somebody has to withhold her force and then release in slow, small stream. So who is able to withhold? Is only Shivji. His jata is symbolic of tapasya. And that means pure mind, peaceful mind. With disturbed mind, how much can one do tapasya? One can't even sit quietly for a few seconds. If one is able to sit long, that means the mind has attained a certain level of sattva, quietude, stillness of the body, asana siddhi, all that. And that Bhagwan Shiva holds the whole Gangaji and releases in a small stream on the earth for us to benefit. So he is the Adi Guru, Brahma Vidya, he gives to the whole world. All this is because of the nature of Bhagwan Prashantam. Very serene, peaceful at the mind level also, at the level of nature of Atma also as consciousness, as peace. So, Trilochanam, Neelakantham, Prashantam. The purpose, as we have seen earlier, the purpose of form upasana is to inculcate these values even at a mind level for us. Atma definitely, but before that, mind can become peaceful. One can do that sadhana. Today is the Mahasamadhi day. Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmayananji left the physical form today. And so it is called sadhana day. So one of the sadhanas that can be done is identify whenever one gets disturbed, make a note of it. Count in a day how many times I got disturbed. If you want to do more detail, you can do irritable, disturbed, angry, violent. 4. Count. Then one will understand, am I more irritable, more disturbed, more angry, more violent? What? In a day, how much time do I lose my peace of mind? And how much time am I actually peaceful? You can measure both. As I said, peace does not mean absence of thought. Peace does not mean always I'm sitting only quietly, withdrawing the senses. That also can be one part. But how much time does the mind have inspiration? It is in sattva guna, it is in state of knowledge or listening, learning, meditating, loving, doing my work with the sense of selflessness. All that is sattva guna, all that is peacefulness. So if one compares both, then one comes to become aware, like how when somebody wants to lose weight, they will start writing what they are eating, what quantity, what time, what food they are eating. And based on that, they will do the calorie count. Oh, this much calories you are taking in a day. When we become conscious, when we write down, we become conscious. Then we come to understand. Otherwise, we think, "Nahi, I don't eat much." Arey, but your daily intake is 2,200 calories. You are burning only some 1,000 calories, 1,200 calories. Then you put on weight. So many times our mind doesn't know. I am a very peaceful person. But once we start writing, recording, then we understand. Oh God, in a day I am getting disturbed 10 times at least. Bring it down. 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. Bring it down. Then no disturbance. Sometimes mind gets disturbed natural, but otherwise. So if one does that, one becomes conscious, one becomes aware. Oh, this is happening to me. I can reduce. If one is not getting disturbed and spending more time in peace and happiness and love and inspiration, very good, very nice. One compliments oneself for it. One is not to look at only the times which are where one is disturbed and then brand oneself, oh, I am not a worthy person, or I am a very angry person, I am a very irritable person. The idea is not to brand like that. The idea is to become aware and also see in a day how much time am I living peacefully, compassionately, lovingly. Because what is the point if I am not able to live like that, or I am not aware of that, and life is just passing by? One came to experience peace, happiness, love, compassion, selflessness, inspiration, all that. So prashantam, when one meditates, Bhagavan is so prashant. And that form, when Bhagavan is sitting quietly, that we meditate on that form, we imbibe that quality. So, Trilochanam, Neelakantham, Prashantam, Dhyatva, having meditated upon this beautiful form, Munihi Gacchati, the contemplative person. Muni means contemplative person. Mananashilavan iti Munihi. One who reflects, contemplates, not simply who just only listens. That also will listen with a quiet mind. Then it goes in, one absorbs, then one reflects. Like the cow brings back the grass that it has swallowed, makes it into cud, and goes on chewing that. Rumination, like that. What one has absorbed in, one brings it back into the mind, reflects upon it, clears the doubts that one has. Mananam. So Muni is Mananashilavan. Man means to think, Manute. Mananashilavan Munihi, one who has the capacity to think on a topic steadily and deeply, clear all the doubts, understand how it applies to my life, and change the conviction. That is most important. Mananashilavan Muni means one who is able to change one's conviction. The wrong notions that one had have to be replaced. Suppose we say happiness is not in the world outside and we study the Shastra and logic, we understand that yes, if happiness was in the world outside, any object which I interact with, that object should give me happiness. But same object at different times does not give me happiness. To somebody else it gives at some other time, some other experience also. So the nature of the world is not to give happiness. Simple point. Now more one reflects upon it, whatever exaggerated value I have given to various things because of which there is an attraction, temptation towards it, and one wants to enjoy that. So the desire is there, extrovertedness is there. Slowly, that one should reflect specifically on that. That really, I really think that happiness is in a coffee or in a chocolate or in some dance or in some money, in some position, in some house. What a delusion that is. One may use that for whatever role one is playing and it may be helpful in certain ways, but happiness doesn't come from that. Some temporary pleasure comes from it. And for that, one doesn't have to run behind it. If it comes, great. If it doesn't come, Ram Ram. That state of Ram is my true nature. Happiness is in that state. The moment I become quiet. Desire is a disturbance, and fulfillment of desire brings me back to that Prashanta state. Again, I come back to quietude. But I have no time to recognize that that happiness is coming from that quiet mind because the next desire is already started. So, Prashant is my nature. Disturbance is created by desire. And then, because of that desire, I want to fulfill it so that the disturbance stops. When the disturbance stops, my nature, which is happiness, again I experience that only. So, what did I do in between? Went away from my nature, got disturbed because of the desire, and then try to fulfill that desire to put down that disturbance, to quieten it. Why get disturbed at all? So, now if one is reflecting, one identifies, okay, these are five things on which I psychologically depend for my happiness. Now, with my reflection, I undo those things. And along with that, if required, live in that self control that I be away from that for some time. Suppose I'm very attached to chocolate, just giving an example. Then that chocolate, I sit and think, really, I think that happiness comes from there. Do all the mananam and say that, okay, for 1 year, no chocolate. And no thinking about it also. Eventually, what will happen is not that after 1 year again I start eating chocolate as before and now all attachment has come back. In that 1 year, I develop that capacity to stay away from it, understand that I can be happy even without it, and really it doesn't come from there. And I spend that time to experience more quietude, the inner bliss and joy, etc. So the dependency on the world outside stops. That if somebody has understood, that person is a Muni. Who has understood, changed one's conviction. So the equation earlier that happiness is equal to chocolate, that equation one has changed. That conviction is happiness is my nature. It doesn't come from outside. That was just one example. Like that, so many things, compassion and love and forgiveness is the way to live. Even if I'm harboring some hatred, some anger, some aversion towards somebody, it is only disturbing, polluting my mind. I let go of it. Of course, if there is a role where I am playing a role where I need to correct somebody or discipline somebody or fight out some injustice that is happening, that's a different matter. But even there, I don't need to hold a grudge in my heart. I can drop it. I can do my duty. Like in the Gita, Bhagwan says, forgive them but fight, because that's your duty to protect Dharma. But individually, as a person, drop it. Don't have any dvesha against the Kauravas or attachment towards Bhishma and Drona. Drop all raga and dvesha. Do the duty. Now that reflection, when one has done, one is Muni. So one meaning of Muni is to live up to my conviction after having transformed my conviction. Knowledge will give me knowledge through reflection brings about the right conviction. And that right conviction must replace my wrong notions and the wrong convictions. Then I become a Muni. People otherwise think Muni means, okay, take one wig and put one jata like that and one long dadi and what? I'm Muni. Wear some mala. Who are you? Muni. That is external depiction. Really, Muni is Mananashilavan. Right now we are moody. From moody to Muni, we have to change. That Muni, one who is very, moon is connected to the mind. So one whose mind is steady is a Muni. Otherwise, Muni is moody. So one meaning of Muni is reflective, contemplative person who changes the conviction and who lives according to the right conviction. Bhagwan Shiva has Vairagya. When he says that happiness is my nature, it is not in the world outside, Bhagwan Shiva lives like that. He lives in Smashan, applies bhasma, has snake, has no fear because he is anchored in detachment, consumes poison, ghosts and goblins are all around him. Amidst all that, he is peaceful, prashantam, no fear at all. When he has to destroy it, he will destroy it effortlessly, the whole world, but anchored in peace. What a contradiction appears to be. Peace, constructive, and he is abiding in that, and yet he is a lot of destruction. As Gurudev would say, that is constructive destruction. It is not a vengeance oriented, revenge oriented, destructive thought mindset. Isko destroy kar दूं, then I will feel happy. It is not like that. It is constructive destruction for the well being of the universe only. So, Prashantam, then Munihi. One meaning of Muni is reflective. Second meaning of Muni is Munehe Bhavam Maunam. One who has attained a certain silence of the mind, which is Prashantam, peace of mind, as well as peace of the self, is a Muni. So, intellectual quality is reflection, contemplation. Muni is Mananashilavan. And heart quality is one whose heart has become pure, quiet. Out of stillness, one operates. Which, in a little more deeper way, if we go, there is stillness inside because there is no ego. Ego has become silent. Silent meaning it has no ego, destroyed, gone. All disturbance of the mind comes from ego only, because I want something in a particular way that destroys. Muneha bhavam maunam. Maunam means silence. Silence is of the nature of the self, meaning the ego which was creating all disturbance has become silent, has lost itself. There is no existence of the ego really. So, one who is abiding in that state of peace, no ego. In the quiet moments of meditation, one has contemplated and transcended the BMI attachment and realizes the self. That is Muni. In the world outside, one is operating out of selflessness, out of joy, not to boost one's image. I want to become greater by achieving this. One is not interested in that. One may have some role, one is doing it selflessly as a dedication to Bhagwan. In that, one may have some goals, but that is not for one's own self worth. That is to manifest potential, that is to bring people together, that is to serve, because we have, that's our nature. One can do uh, action, achievement, but there's no connection of the self worth with that. And what is the objective? Objective is to share this with maximum people. Do whatever I'm doing in service of the society. To earn a living, suppose one has to do work, one has to earn some money. There's nothing wrong in making some profit and carrying on with one's life. It is not that spiritual person should not make a profit. You make the profit, but you use it for what? In service, in living a life which is sadhana oriented, in trying to realize the truth, trying to share this knowledge with other people, doing one's duty towards the family, bringing them up with good values, samskars, all that. Self image, one is not bothered about. I have done this. I came into this city with only 1 rupee. Today I am a billionaire, Swamiji. One may say it out of some functional information, that's a different matter, but there's no psychological identity or identification with that, that I am this rich person. Okay, there's some wealth, or there is some talent, or there is some physical, whatever qualities, beauty, handsomeness, any of that. They're incidental. I'm not that. And all my actions are not meant for that to uh, make me feel. At one level, yes, all that applies. See, I'm not saying that one should not or it is wrong. Sometimes one is at each one is a different level of evolution. So at some point in life, we have that attachment to our work and achievements, and we derive our self-worth from there. And if we become successful, we feel very highly elated. We achieve some failure, we feel very disappointed, dejected. But that one goes through. There's a natural process of life, but a spiritual seeker rises above that, comes to understand that this is the nature of the samsara. Pairs of opposites come and go, success, failure, pain, pleasure, praise, insult, that will keep happening. And that belongs to this little I. I'm not that little I. No matter how much I achieve, that I will remain finite only. My nature is infinity. So why am I even chasing that small I? So that seeker who has developed that contemplative capability is then operating out of that state of selflessness, because one is not interested in feeding the I. That one has understood that is the cause of bondage. Thinking of myself as the jiva is the cause of bondage. Why will I then run behind something which is feeding that I? Not bothered. Still, one is acting. Why? Because one is acting out of selflessness, dedicating actions to Bhagwan, doing his seva, not interested in projecting oneself and one's image and all that. One may use some things. Suppose one says social media one is using. One can use social media as a means to reach to people. One is not necessarily projecting oneself for it. Just because somebody is having social media doesn't mean, oh, that person is projecting himself or herself. That is full stupidity to think like that. Gurudev used media or not. But there's no self projection. He went on sharing knowledge and so selflessly. There is nothing in the world one requires to make oneself feel full, or nothing which one doesn't have makes one feel lesser. One lives out of a sense of fullness within, joy within, because one is anchored in the divine, one is serving Bhagwan, one has bhakti, all this, when one has connection to the form, one knows that the Lord is in my heart. There is no sense of emptiness. There is that has to be filled. Bhakti makes the heart full, joyful, happy, because ego has surrendered. That is Muni. So literally Muni means one whose ego has become silent. Munehe bhavam maunam. So Dakshinamurti Bhagwan is indicated with this word Muni. If you see each of these, one may otherwise apply this shloka, only some 2-3 words as though are indicating Lord Shiva, like Uma Sahayam and Trilochanam and Neelakantham. But actually, each of them are applying to Lord Shiva. Like Muni means indicating Dakshinamurti Bhagwan. Mauna Vyakhya Prakadita Para Brahma Tattvam Yuvanam. Dakshinamurti Bhagwan gave the knowledge without speaking a word to the Sanat Kumars. They did not ask a question. They went there and Bhagwan indicated this, the Jnana Mudra, and their doubts are cleared. Chitram Vatataror Mule Vridha Shishya Guror Yuva Gurostu Maunam Vyakhyanam Shishyastu Chinna Samshaya. Below that Vatavriksha, Bhagwan is sitting there. Vridha Shishya, the students are old and teacher is young. And the teacher did not speak a word, just indicated. All the doubts of students disappeared. Munehe bhavam maunam. All doubts are what Gurudev used to say in a very nice line. All doubts are dancings of the mind. All doubts are dancings of the mind. You quieten the mind, doubt will disappear. Obviously, where I need logic, information, proper clarity to understand, there you need all that. It doesn't mean, no need to think of any answer, just quieten the mind. You're not suppressing a doubt. That one can't, because then if information is not there properly, and I'm a logical person, I'm an intellectual person, then it will again bring up some question. Mind can't remain quiet. But the point is, how much ever logic I may give and how much ever explanations I may know, interpretations I may understand, till I don't put the effort to make the mind quiet and surrender that ego, I will not move 1 inch closer in spiritual path. And so Muneha Bhavam Maunam, and hence people experience so much of joy and their doubts get cleared, they experience peace, happiness in the presence of Mahatmas. Like Ramana Maharshi would not speak too much. He will answer sometimes. Sometimes he will say, inquire into who is asking this question. But a lot of times he's just sitting there. And people are sitting in the presence. And one may wonder, what is happening here? Why are they all just simply sitting here? And he is also sitting, not doing anything, and they are also sitting here. What is this? One won't understand sometimes. Tapon Maharaj and Ramana Maharshi. Tapon Maharaj went to meet Ramana Maharshi in his sadhana days, sadhak days, and he sat. Both of them looked at each other. There was not one word exchanged, but highest level of communication is happening in silence. That is Munehe Bhavam Maunam. Mind has become peaceful, ego has surrendered completely, then that will radiate that level of peace and happiness to others, that their mind can become quiet. Their doubts can disappear. They can attain intuitive answers. Disappear meaning it not necessarily only because disappear, but they can even get their answers. That is Munehe Bhavam Maunam. So, that picture sometimes you see where in the forest there is a saint who is there, and the lion and the goat, predator and prey, are sitting next to each other. The predator is not having attacking mindset and the prey is not having fear. That's the power of that Muni who is sitting there. And you see Lord Shiva, his family is like that. Completely opposing forces are there in that. And yet he is peaceful, so they all are sitting peacefully. Vahan of Bhagwan is Nandi. Vahan of Mother Parvati is the lion or the tiger. Both are predator, both are enemies. Kartikeya's Vahan is peacock. And Bhagwan is having snake. Again a problem. Ganeshji's Vahan is Mushak and the snake. Still they are coexisting there. Like that you will see so many contradictions will be there, and yet amidst all of them Bhagwan is sitting peacefully. Munehe Bhavam Maunam. So Muni word indicates so many of these. Bhagwan's Parivar, Dakshinamurti Bhagwan. So Dhyatva Munihi Gacchati Bhutayonim. See, please understand, here the word Muni indicates the sadhak, okay? But I am saying Bhagwan Shiva, for the sadhak, Bhagwan Shiva itself is Muni. In this context here, it means I, the seeker. So whoever is a seeker contemplating like this on Bhagwan Shiva will go to realize oneness. Bhuta Yoni means the source of creation. Bhuta means that which has come into being. That's why we say Pancha Bhuta, 5 elements, that which has come into being. And the whole Srishti is, the material cause of it is Panchabhutas. The Yoni, the source of that is what? Is Maya. The source of Maya is what? Bhagwan. So Bhagwan is the ultimate cause of the whole creation, material cause also. So one comes to realize that oneness with the Supreme. In this context, Manna Shilavan Munihi and Munehe Bhavam Maunam. That is the quality for the sadhak. But Bhagwan Shiva also is a Muni in that sense. And he is the ideal Muni which the sadhak must contemplate upon and imbibe those qualities of Bhagwan. So, Dhyatva Munihi Gacchati Bhuta Yonim, goes to the source, meaning comes to realize oneness with the divine, that I am not an effect. Right now I think I am an effect, I am this Jiva, I am Mr. So and so, this body, mind, intellect is me. Gacchati Bhuta Yonim. One comes to realize oneness with the Supreme, that I am the ultimate cause, I am Chaitanya Swarup Atma, I am Sachidanand, all that. Dhyatva Munihi Gacchati Bhuta Yonim. Samastha Sakshim. What? And again coming back to the pointers of Bhagwan Shiva. Samastha Sakshim and Tamasa Parastat. That very Lord Shiva, don't think is limited only to the form. He is that consciousness who is the witness in all the beings in their heart and who is the witness of everything that is happening. Both meanings it has. Samastha Sakshim. Just like the sun, Gurudev in his commentary gives the example of the sun. That the Sakshi literally means one who sees. Aksha means eyes. Sakshi means Sakshat Ikshate Sadhanam Vina. That's the definition of Sakshi. One who sees directly without any medium. We see with medium. So the eyes are required to see the form, ears are required to hear the sound. So our perception is through a medium. one who is the enlivener of all mediums and who sees without the medium, which is the most puzzling thing, it will come in the Kaivalya Upanishad only, it will come. Pashyami achakshuhu sashrunomi akarnaha. I hear without ears and I see without eyes. Some ghost appear, apparently it must be. So someone misunderstands like that. It is not like that. It is the enlivener of all equipment. Is the consciousness. And it does not need any equipment. Equipment needs that. Bulb is required by electricity is required by the bulb. Then enlivening of that bulb, when it happens, that light will come. But by itself, electricity remains as it is. It does not need, like that equipment can't exist without this BMI, without this consciousness. BMI can't exist. Because existence is that. See, equipment and the bulb, there's a limitation of analogy because bulb does not need electricity for its existence. Bulb exists independent of electricity. But here it is not like that. Satchidananda Swarup Atma is existence, consciousness and bliss. So that existence of BMI is from Atma. Without that it can't exist only. And so Samasta Sakshim, it is the witness of all. And so the example of sun that Gurudev gives is the sun rises, and as the sun rises, people engage in activity. The sun has nothing to do with it. Sun is not telling people that now I am rising. In fact, it is not even rising. It is always there. So sun is not saying that now I am rising, now you become active, now you start doing actions, do your duty, get up, do your daily, ritual, take bath, get ready, go to work. It is not saying any of that. Some people sleep even when the sun is on. So the point is, sun is just there. In its presence, everything happens. That analogy Atma Bodh mein Shankaracharya ji gives. Surya lokam yatha janaha. Like how the people are in the world when Surya rises. Like that. There is no doership in the sun. In its presence, everything happens. If nothing happens, also sun is not bothered. But without it, things will not happen. Photosynthesis, life on this earth, evaporation, rain, water cycle, all that, nothing will happen. But sun is not doing by itself anything. It's not being what it is. Samasta Sakshi means that I am that Sakshi. Shivji Swarupa is that Sakshi, which does not get affected, does not get involved. So unaffected, uninvolved observer of whatever is happening, whatever thought rises, emotion comes, action happens, it comes, goes, it comes, goes. I am the witness. Samasta Shakshim Tamasa Parastat, beyond all darkness. So darkness is Tamoguna. Darkness is, so tamas has lot of levels. The deepest level of tamas is avidya. I don't know who am I. That avidya, the ignorance of the self, is the deepest level of tamas. Otherwise, tamas can mean laziness, lethargy, procrastination, carelessness, indulgence, breaking of dharma, all that. Hurting somebody, any of those things, tamasic. So tamasa parastat means beyond ignorance. The root cause of all the other tamas is ignorance. One whose nature is Jnana Swarup, that is Shiva Tattva, that is Bhagwan Shiva, who is beyond all ignorance. Meaning Bhagwan is all-knowing, Sarvagnya, and Bhagwan may appear as though he doesn't know something, as though he does not know that there was a form created by Mother Parvati to guard. And so people ask that question. If Shiva is Bhagwan, how does he not know that this is created by Parvati? This boy was created by Parvati and that boy is his son. Why did he chop his head? Then he is not Bhagwan. Then he is ordinary mortal. So we are assuming and pronouncing judgment on who Bhagwan is because of actions of Bhagwan. How does one judge that Bhagwan did not know? Just because his action is something. He can be playing a role, he can be doing a leela for a specific cause, for a reason. How do I know? Tamasa Parastat is beyond all ignorance, all knowing, nature of Chaitanya Swarup Atma, illuminer of everything. How will Bhagwan not know? That's a leela that he did. Bhagwan knows everything. Before the thought arises, consciousness is. So how is it possible that that Antaryami who is there, who does not know, Bhagwan knows everything. But as consciousness, yes, not involved in anything, but as Ishvara, aware of everything, because if Jiva is there, Ishvara is there, individuality is there, totality is there. Consciousness is beyond individuality, totality, that is Samasta Sakshim, uninvolved, unaffected observer. But otherwise, as the Sopadhik Brahma, one who has name, form, qualities, that we are seeing that only, no, here. That Lord Shiva is beyond all ignorance. One knows what is the self, one is aware of the truth, one will never become ignorant. Tamasa Parastat means that, beyond ignorance. He is the destroyer of ignorance, in fact. And so, one who is that consciousness is Lord Shiva. So now this is the mantra where we contemplate on the form. So when one does, so now that we have completed it, in our next satsang, anyway now Shravan month is there, whole month we are going to meditate from 5th August on Bhagwan Shiva. So we will not have a separate meditation session on this. Or we can begin actually. Next class we will begin with this. Half an hour we will meditate on this form of Bhagwan Shiva with the help of this mantra, and then we go ahead with the further mantras. So for today we will stop here. Any questions? Yes.
Hariom Swamiji, when we say that BMI is illumined by consciousness, so when the person goes in coma, the consciousness illumines which part of the body or mind or intellect. So the jiva is still alive. Like.
See, we have to understand consciousness does not, when we say consciousness illumines, what does it mean? It lends existence to that entity. So the body is existing because of that. Even if that entity dies, the body will become ash. Consciousness is still illumining that ash as existence.
Yeah,
That is
that's
one.
right.
Coming to it step by step. 1. 2, that person, when the person is alive, the ability of the mind and intellect to reflect consciousness is what makes that person alive and capable of action, interaction, etc. So Chaitanya Swarup Atma reflecting in the Sukshma Sharira is what gives us the Jiva Bhav. And that as long as that Jiva is identified with the body, that Jiva is alive, but in a state of coma, just like waking state, dream state, deep sleep state, this is a state of coma one has gone into. But the mind is still there, the Jiva Bhav is still there. So that Jiva Bhav is enlivened by it, by the Chaitanya Swarup Atma only. And we may not see the response from that jiva in terms of speaking and moving and acting and listening and all that. But the very fact that that jiva is there, that is showing the presence of both existence and consciousness. And that's what is the illumining that is happening. Now, when that, suppose that jiva departs, then body will still remain there. So Atma will not reflect as consciousness because mind is not there anymore in that. Atma will only be there in the form of existence. So the body is existing, that's all. So Sat part will remain. Again, I'm saying Sat part, Chit part, all that is limitation of language. Consciousness doesn't have any parts. Existence only is consciousness, consciousness only is existence. But that body is not capable of reflecting existence, so the body will not have that ability. So one says that body is dead. The person, jiva, departed. It's like today is very easy to understand. Now that if there's a phone which is 3G enabled phone, then only 3G network will come in that. 4G it can't catch. But 4G network is everywhere. But that phone can't catch that because it is incapable. Same way, jiva went from this body. So its body is not capable of reflecting consciousness. If you put back the mind there, again it will start reflecting, which is what happens when somebody has departed and the dead person is brought back to life. That subtle body has again got connected to the gross body by whatever process, and then now again that person is living. So that is what happens. So in coma, the Chaitanya Swarup Atma is reflecting the jiva, is illumining the jiva as well as illumining the body. Only that the condition of the brain or whatever the physical body is, so it has become incapable of coming into a waking state.
Okay. Thank you, Swamiji. Very well explained.
Yes, Meera.
Yes, sir, I sent a message also. I just wanted to know, you explained what is a Muni. So what is the difference in Rishi and Muni?
So one difference is Rishi is one who is called as a mantra drashta, whose mind, so a manana shilavan muni, a reflecting person, reflective person, contemplative person is a muni. And when that mind has become very quiet, then sometimes the mantras are revealed. Vedic mantras are revealed to that person. And that is why the person is called as Rishi. And so we say Rishi Vishwamitra, Rishi Vashishta, Sapta Rishis, mantras are revealed to them. And a Muni can be the one who will then contemplate on the mantras.
Acha. So that means both are at the same level. ऐसा नहीं कि Rishi is
Rishi is subtler than Muni.
Is subtler than acha.
Yeah, not every Muni to him the mantras will be revealed.
Acha. Thank you, sir.
Rishis will be few to whom mantras are revealed, and the Muni is one who reflects then on the mantra, and of course
those mantras.
one comes to realize that absolute oneness, then everything is same. Then at level they are same, no difference.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.